Here's a segment from a recent Gun Talk radio episode. You can listen to all the Gun Talk radio podcasts however you tune in, or check out guntalk.com for more.
Hey, we got an interesting call here. We've got Steve on line 4.
I know what you're doing. You're going all whispery on me because you're going suppress.
That's right.
Steve, Fargo, North Dakota. Talk to me about this banished suppressor. What is that?
No, Banish 22. It's a brand name. Banish.
Oh! I thought somebody had banned a suppressor.
Yeah, me too.
No, I took...
from Silencer Central.
And that's exactly where I got it. It took a year. It took over a year to get this darn thing.
Yeah.
So just crazy. All the either some of them come quick, some of them don't. But man, I wish they could change that law and you could buy them over the counter, because shooting suppressed is an absolute game changer, especially with young shooters. I had a 6-year-old and a 11-year-old and a 13-year-old out, and we had a Kimber Mountain Ascent with a SilencerCo suppressor on that. Awesome gun. It shoots. It kicks like maybe 22, 250, if that.
Right.
The recoil's gone. It shoots so accurately. We had those targets that change colors. It was it's unbelievable how well that little gun shoots. And then we had a brand new. I just got it. My 11-year-old's going to deer hunt this year. It's a Savage 110 Ultralight in 6.5 Creedmoor.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got the carbon wrap barrel. Never had one of those before, but wasn't my best trip to the range. I forgot the Allen wrenches to adjust the elevation on the loophole scopes, both of them. So it wasn't on paper, and I couldn't lower it anymore without the wrenches. So we're going to have to go out again. Oh, darn. But the 22 suppressor was amazing. We fired Hornady, like high-velocity hunting rounds in 22 Magnum out of a Kel-Tec carbine. And that gun is an awesome kid gun because it has that collapsible stock, so you can set it up for who's ever shooting it. We put that 22 on, that suppressor on there, and we shot it with hearing protection. I said, okay, guys, we're going to test this out. So we took our hearing protection off, and we shot it. And I don't know if it's hearing safe. It's probably pretty close. It was modest. I wouldn't shoot it without hearing protection. But then I was digging in the range bag, and I came up with 3 22 Magnum rounds that were just in the bottom of the bag. They had just lead bullets on them, just old-school lead bullets on them, right? I had no idea what they were. We put those in. They were subsonic. I don't know what they were. I don't know what the bullet weights were, but they were probably 900, 1,000 feet per second. That gun, I kid you not, you could hear the action. You could hear the rounds hit the bank 50 yards away, and you could tell they were slow, because there's a delay. It was, the kids could not believe it. Well, the one kid's a big airsoft guy, and he goes, "That's quieter than an airsoft gun," and it was.
Oh, they are.
22 Magnum about an 18-inch barrel suppressed. It was really. It wouldn't cycle though. You had to single load. It wouldn't cycle the gun. But man, it was fun.
It's funny you mentioned the Banish suppressor. I just put in an order for a Banish 30, the 30 cal, and I figured I could use that on most of my center fires. Because anything that's 30 caliber or smaller diameter bullet, and could shoot those and swap them out. So. But same deal. I mean, probably looking at 7 to 10 or 11 months to get that.
Yeah.
But, it's one of those deals. You just go ahead and put the order in, and then don't think about it, because if it drives you crazy and never put the order in, you'll never get the suppressor.
And the longer you wait, the longer it takes.
I just got a SilencerCo 12 gauge, that big goofy looking thing. Have you seen those?
Yeah, it looks like a shoebox on the end of your barrel.
Yeah, it looks like a shoebox and then your barrel. Yeah, you can. My kids are yelling at me. But it was fun to shoot, and it makes a big difference. I was just shooting, just doing some trap shooting with it, but you got to get used to it because it's a big old chunk of aluminum out there swinging it around. But it's so fun to be able to shoot a 12 gauge. I have neighbors. I'm on about 20 acres, and I want to be neighborly. And you can shoot without that roar. They still know you're shooting, but it just takes that rip out of those guns.
Sure,
it's so nice to do that.
And I'm guessing that when you got that big thing out there, it's pretty hard to stop your swing.
You will keep swinging. There's no stopping it. You have to forcibly stop that gun from swinging.
You got to learn to say pull fast enough so by the time you spin around.
Yeah, I was going to ask that question because it's got to change the whole sport with one of them on there.
Oh, yeah. No, you would have to practice a lot. I mean, you can hit stuff, but competitively or whatever, you'd have to shoot a lot because the balance of the gun is completely off.
Sure.
I mean, it's just a big old piece of aluminum or titanium or whatever it is hanging out there. But it's not visible. You know, it's all below the barrel, so it's not like it's messing up your sight lines or anything. It just feels – I had it on a Benelli Super 90. You know, that gun's about 30 years old, one of the first ones that they imported into the States. And
that's a nice gun.
Low. I don't shoot it. Yeah, it was a real nice gun.
Hey, I got a question for you, Steve, just out of curiosity. Yeah. You gave your $200 for your tax stamp, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Was that cashed instantly or relatively instantly, or did they not do that until they shipped the gun to your FFL3?
Oh, no, I do, well, through SilencerCo, the way it works is that once you've got an account there, everything just goes on a credit card, and they'll actually bill you like over 4 or 6 months for everything. So whatever the total is, they just divide it by, it's either 4 or 6, I don't know.
Oh, okay, that's
cool. And every month that comes through on your credit card, you just see it come through, and it'll show you what it is. So they're actually fronting the tax stamp dollars for you, and then they're billing it over time, and it doesn't matter because you can't get it anyway. It's not going to come. If it came in 4 months, it'd be a miracle. So you pay for it over 4 or 6 months, and then somewhere between 4 and 10 months after that, it shows up. So, but it's a really convenient way to do it. And they've got the trust set up, and
and I did mine through Silencer Central, SilencerCentral.com, and the same deal. They're setting up the trust. It's just they make it so easy. It's unbelievable.
I travel for work, and I get down to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and that's where they're located. So I literally walk into their shop for the suppressors. I've got 3 more of them on order. They're addicting. Once there's just no reason to shoot without.
That's true. Once you start shooting suppressed, you just hate the idea of shooting things that are loud again.
Steve, will you adopt me and Michelle?
Absolutely. Yeah, no problem.
Great.
We can make that work.
Great.
He's got a basement. You guys can stay there.
I shot a little buck with that 308 mountain rifle, and it's really fun where we tree hunt, and it's public land, but there's not that many people around, and so when people are shooting, you kind of know, and then we've got cell phones or radios in, or wants to see who shot what, and that was the first time I'd shot a deer suppressed, and when I got back to camp, and I didn't tell anybody, no one knew I had shot. Where normally when you would come back to camp, people would be like, because I don't want to tell you all the details, but it wasn't pretty. It didn't work out exactly how I wanted to. It was my fault. I took a shot I probably shouldn't have taken, and then I had to finish what I'd started. But I ended up shooting 4 times. And normally, if you got back to camp, if you'd fired 4 times, people would be like, what was it? What happened? What's the story?
Sure.
No one even knew because I was shooting away from camp and downwind. Nobody even heard. It's the 308, fired 4 times. Nobody knew I'd fired the gun. So
yeah, we'll send an excerpt of this podcast to all your buddies at the hunting camp just to let them know, Steve.
What a guy!
There you go. They did know. I had to call them to come pick up my deer, so they did find out sooner or later. So.
All right, great report there, Steve. I appreciate that. It's I would encourage more people to consider buying a suppressor. I mean, start the process. Thank you, sir.
Is there anywhere you can't hunt with a suppressor?
Yeah, there's some states. You got to check the regs. I mean, you can a lot of places. One of the things that's happened, it's been interesting, is that the wait time, I was just looking at the website, actually the Silencer Central, they have view ATF wait times. And so you can look and see, and what's interesting, I'm looking at it right now, the average wait time, let's see, January of 2020 was 283 days, but in September of 2020, it's 193 days. So the wait times were getting shorter through at least September of 2020. That's all the information I have.
That whole thing doesn't sit well with me. It's like you can do a background check to buy a pistol or rifle, shotgun. In minutes they have an answer for you.
Exactly.
But for a suppressor, it's going to take a year.
Yes.
I mean,
and now imagine that David Chipman gets in and head of the ATF.
Oh yeah.
And he says, "Well, I'm so sorry we're doing these as fast as we can, but now we're at a 3-year wait."
Yep.
On these. Yep. And we never stopped processing them. It's just taken us a while because they cut it down to one person who's blind and can't hear and trying to do the work.
Right, and the ironic part is that criminals aren't buying suppressors legally anyway. They're not using them, as far as I know. And if they are, they would make one.
Well, yeah, it's just, you can make them yourself. They're not difficult at all.
It's ridiculous.
It's just all ridiculous, and there's no reason in the world that we should be paying a tax and having to wait and say, Mother, may I, to buy a muffler.